Yeah, we are back. We are back, and here we go with another one. This is exciting. This is exciting. I've been waiting for this. I know y'all like, yo, again, once again, where has Mingo been? Well, I'm here, y'all. I'm here. Just been, as you can see, I've been busy. We've been working, y'all. Guess what? Your boy has been featured in 33 articles across the country. We're talking about Associated Press. Hold up, I gotta give myself a round of applause. Also, the Pix 11 News in New York City, in articles in Los Angeles, all over the country, you name it, Meet2Marry has been featured in it. Shout out, because we got a new PR rep. So shout out to our PR rep that's been handling the PR side of everything. She's been phenomenal in making sure that we are getting noticed. Also, I will be featured on the news out here in Charlotte for the show. And this is a big channel as well. So y'all get ready. We got some heat for y'all. We got some real heat for y'all. Today, we are going live to talk about the reunion. So shout out to everybody that came in the building currently. Supernova, my guy. Shout out and salute to you. Viva is in the building, and everybody that just came in the door, do me a favor and hit the like button. We got a good one for y'all, right? Tonight, I got Kendra in the back room right now, so she's going to be joining us on the live. Tamara should be joining us as well. Maybe Marcus is gonna come on. I really hope so. So we got an action-packed show. We're gonna review the second half of the reunion, and I'm excited about this. I'm excited to review it with y'all. I'm excited to review it with the cast. Feel free, ask them questions, right? Because that's what they're gonna be here for. So ask questions. Let's get into it. Let's have a great show, y'all. And let's have fun. Let's have fun. Respectfully, though, right? We want to make sure we keep it respectful. So let's have respectful fun. What else before I move on? Other housekeeping things I got out the way. Amira is in the building. What up, what up, what up? And like my girl says, like, subscribe, and hit that like button. Do me a favor and hit that like button. Yeah, so we got so much going on this side of Meet2Marry that I'm blessed, and I can say God is good. As I always say, y'all looking at a dude that knew nothing about media before I got into this. And now to be able to create a whole media company, to be getting recognized pretty much across the country in different ways. You know, YouTube is one thing, but when y'all start getting into things, you'll realize that life is so much bigger than YouTube. YouTube is a great avenue to start. So, you know, I would say get started if you guys have a passion or a dream on YouTube, but just know it's not all about there. It's all about getting started. So that's what we want to do. I'm going to bring Kendra up and welcome her in the building. Kendra, I don't know if you can hear me. I believe you said you were driving.
Yeah, I'm about to get in the car. I'm just leaving work.
Okay. We got Kendra in the building. Welcome. Say hi to the audience. They ain't see you in a hot minute.
Hello, y'all. Hello. They've been trying to eat me up. That's why they ain't see me.
Between you and Tamara, they've been like, oh my God, the comments have been wild. But we'll get into
That's
it.
all right.
We'll get into it tonight. We'll you know, I definitely want to give you that option. That option.
Yeah, it's me. Sorry.
Say it again. Oh, okay. Somebody.
I'm in my car now. I'm sorry. I'm gonna mute my cell phone. I'll be quiet. Sorry.
Okay, no problem. Yeah, so I definitely wanted to give, like I said, I wanted to give Kendra the option to speak her mind on how she's been feeling about things, because there's been a lot of backlash for her in the comment section, Tamara as well. And, you know, I know they you know, as rightfully so, these are people that put their lives out there, and they respectfully put their lives out there, right? Like, they didn't come through with any type of malice or any type of, you know, games to be played. and I think a lot of things may be misunderstood, if that makes sense. So what I would like to do is just give them the option as we go through the live stream tonight to speak their piece. So as they come on, we're going to start, but I'm going to start the show, and I guess everybody can come on as they will. Do me a favor, y'all, in the comment section, ask questions. Let's get active in the comment section. I'm going to do my best because I forgot my glasses upstairs, and I don't want to leave here to go upstairs to get my glasses. So it's kind of hard for me to read the screen, but I'm going to do my best. I'm going to do my best to see and read your comments and get them up on the screen because, yeah, I don't know how I forgot to put my glasses on and I'm doing all of this stuff. But let's get into it. So I'm going to share my screen and we'll just dive into the show, y'all. Do me a favor as y'all come in the door. Hit the like button for me. I see 12 people in here. I should have 12 likes, right? And it only should go up from there. So we just got 14 people in. So hit the like button as soon as you enter the door. And the more and more people come, do me a favor, my mods, can you hold it down in the chat for me and just ask everybody to hit that like button? Let's get this show into the algorithm. Let's get it out there. Y'all know it's a good show. We put a lot into this. A lot of sweat equity into this. My dude, Racket Ralph, is in the building. What up, what up, what up? So, yeah, as y'all come in, like I said, hit the like button. Show your boys some love. That's all I can ask for, right? You know what I'm saying? I ain't out here begging on the corner for money. I just need likes. That's it. So, and share. If y'all could share the reunion to people, tell a friend to tell a friend. Watch the reunion. That's what I need from y'all. That's all I ask. Like, let that be that trade-off. I give y'all good quality content. Y'all tell y'all friends to tell a friend. All right. So I'm gonna share my 3 a.m. What up? What up? What up? My brother, he's in the building. I love that picture, man. But hold on. Where you was at? Church? Look like you was at church, my guy. All right? I like that picture though, man. Shout out and salute to you. So yeah, all right, let's get into it. I'm gonna share my screen. Let's add this to stage, and we gonna get active, y'all. We gonna get active. We gonna have a good show tonight. My guy said that was you was at a wedding. Nice. Last weekend. Dope picture, man. Dope picture. Who else just jumped in the building? My guy, Highway Skinny, is in the building. Shout out and salute to you, my brother. The team is here. All right, let me just go live on Instagram real quick so they can see me over there. And then we are going to get active. And we're back. Part 2 of our Meet2Marry Reunion.
Right, okay, well, if my voice doesn't matter, then I don't really care. Live life long enough to either be the hero, to keep living, you become the villain.
There are going to be days where sometimes your baggage comes through the door.
Drama.
I had feelings for Marcus at one point.
Suspense.
This was a feeling that you had where you felt unsafe, that you have the right to move out of that.
Love.
Tell us, did Zanathan meet your expectations?
He actually exceeded them.
Get your family ready. Couple right this there. Is a reunion you do not want to miss.
And with that, we're done.
And we are back here with our lovely couples.
Hold up. Shout out to my wife. I got to bring that back real quick, man. Shout out to my wife. Hold on.
And we are.
Here she go. Shout out to my wife. She looks so gorgeous at the reunion. Shout out to her. Yeah. She reminded me of what's that character that wore red and had the hair like that? Betty Boop. Betty Boop. Yeah, that's what she reminded me of. She looks so gorgeous, man. Shout out to my beautiful wife. So let's keep going.
Are back here with our lovely couples. Good to see you guys looking good. Look at y'all. Okay, y'all here.
She looks like a red velvet.
We do have an empty space here, and that is because Sandy and Antoine actually declined to come.
Why didn't match? I wasn't supposed to be on the show. So the idea was I was just going to be directing. So I wanted to play the background. But yo, Trav is in the building. What up, man? Shout out, salute to you, my brother. We got Tamara. Tamara is in the building. She car hustling today. What up? What up? What up?
Hey, how are you guys doing?
Good, good. You sound good too. I can hear you well. So, so the reason why I didn't dress up that day for the reunion was because I wasn't planning on being on the show. My mindset was I was going to be in the background and I was just going to direct. And then when I had a conversation with my team, they're like, nah, you should at least play 2 parts. So I said, all right, you know what? Let me play my 2 parts. And I did that. So, you know, I played the background and I know I didn't look as good as everybody else up there, but you know, I came through. You say you'll be in Charlotte. When you'll be in Charlotte? You'll be in Charlotte next weekend, Juneteenth. When you come out here, yo, dude, holla at me, man. You got my info, so you know you just holla at me when you out here and let's link up, please. All right, I'm talking too much. Let me keep the show going. We got Tamara and Kendra in the building. Hopefully we get Marcus to come on and Aaliyah and hopefully Zy Nathan. Zy Nathan got the text too, but Zy Nathan. But he doing the Zy Nathan. So let's see.
And we respect their decision. And Sandy did also feel a bit apprehensive due to her huge backlash from viewers, some of which became threatening. And we here at Meet2Marry do not condone violence of any kind. And we truly wish the best for Sandy and Antoine. So we're going to switch gears and talk to this lovely couple to my left, the fairy tale of it all, Mr. Zanabin and Miss Aaliyah. So it seemed like a fairy tale with you guys, and you actually were voted as the viewers' favorite couple. Give a little round of applause for that. Real cute. And Aaliyah, you and Zanathan went on a date
And
to
that
the
was y'all.
escape
So
room,
remember,
and it looked
I had a poll, and I wanted the audience to say who your favorite couple was, and everybody, pretty much the majority of people voted for Zanathan and Aaliyah, and y'all call them #Zylia. So shout out to them. But yeah, we all love them. Kendra loves them. I know Tamara loves them. Marcus loves them. Even Taco Bell, all of them love them. Like this couple is amazing.
like spark were literally flying off the screen. Can you tell us, did Zanathan meet your expectations?
He
Your
actually
favorite couple?
exceeded
Shout
them.
out to you.
For me, I definitely look for compatibility, a good balance. I look for someone who can like do the banter back and forth with me. And I think that experience definitely showed that to be true with him. I feel like we work well together as well. So I feel like we got a chance to be goofy outside of just, talking and getting to know each other. It was a moment for us to express our personalities in a more fun, stressful situation.
Okay. In an escape room, I mean, you're going to definitely learn how to problem solve. And that's a big component of any healthy relationship. Do you feel, Zanathan, that you guys were able to work well together on solving some of the problems and get out the escape room?
I feel like we learned how to work together, like how that will work in probably not all real life situations, but just like a brief outlook on what that would look like. It's very helpful.
And as we can see, you are this super calm, even keel Southern gentleman. And definitely we received a lot of positive feedback from our viewers. Do you feel like Aaliyah was your perfect choice?
Definitely. I think she meets my personality very well during all of those calm moments. And then just when I peek off and being silly and goofy, I have somebody to match that.
That's awesome. And you also shared with us that you are.
Nathan is definitely a good catch. He said the type of dude you would want to date your sister. I agree. The only part, Zanathan don't answer his phone for me. He drives me crazy. Zanathan, if you watching, man, call me, man. Jesus Christ. Put you my guy on. Shout out and salute to you. Yeah, they definitely a dope couple.
Our father, and did Aaliyah meet your daughter?
Yes, she did.
She's a sweetheart. She's definitely a cutie patootie. It went well. She's really young, but she was eager to play. So
Okay, well, that is wonderful. And you both obviously chose each other. What went through your minds during that moment on decision day?
I could say, like, for me, everything that I said in that moment was true. I was very honest with him in that moment, but even after, like, everything was said and done,
So
like
let's break this down step by step. Tamara and Kendra, when y'all first saw their date, because obviously y'all saw their date when everyone else saw their date, what did y'all feel about their chemistry? How did you feel like? Did you feel like they would get this far?
I
Absolutely.
think they instantly clicked. Like it was like an instant click. And it was like I was smiling ear to ear. I was like, "Oh, this is about to be cute. They're about to be together." I'm excited. Um, I don't know. Like I was just super excited for them because the energy that they had and like the way that they were looking at each other, and I'm just like, okay, they're about to be in a relationship. I can feel it. So that's all I have to say, really.
Nice, nice. What about you, Tamara?
Absolutely. They're both two amazing people. I mean, before the date, we got a chance. We all, as cast members, know each other, so got a chance to really see them, and just two amazing people, man. Two amazing people in the right place, right time. We knew it was just. I'm waiting on a whole engagement and all the other good stuff so we can really go crazy and buy plenty of gifts. So we just knew it was instant. It was an instant kind of chemistry. And I mean, on TV they're beautiful, but man, in
Right.
person, it's really beautiful to watch and to see develop. So man, all blessings to them, man. We're gonna protect them with everything we got.
Right. I told them like, yo, listen, I'm gonna film their wedding. So when they get married, my crew coming out, and but I also got to be part of the wedding too. I need to be like a best man or something. Or maybe I should go get my officiant that way I could actually marry them, right? Hold up, my people is in the building.
Oh, you got
Yo,
Joe.
yo, so what up, what up? And my God, world class is in the building. I feel like I haven't seen you in a minute. Shout out to you, my brother. Shout out to you. All right, so let's keep going. Let's keep going.
what I experienced in that moment was definitely like a mixture of emotions. I think definitely stepping into a new relationship after, taking some time from like commitment for a few years and just, realizing like, oh, I have to do it. I'm trying to do it. Like it wasn't necessarily a moment to say like, yeah, we're boyfriend and girlfriend, but it was definitely like we acknowledged that we wanted to continue seeing each other. And I feel like getting that verbal acknowledgement and like having like that intimate, like one-on-one moment was like, I don't know, I think it gonna solidify things for me, like just knowing that it's okay, like I can be safe here. And I think I said that too, like you taught me what it feels like to be safe again. So
Beautiful. I'm not gonna lie, it was poetic. I was just like stuck on the screen, like, oh my God, this is beautiful. I had to get the tissue paper and everything. So Nathan, what was going through your mind on decision day?
Definitely just like some fear, stepping into something new, unfamiliar territory, but trying it though.
Do you feel like your heart is open?
Let me ask y'all, the audience. Do y'all feel like we should have added flashbacks? Let me know, because I felt like if we put flashbacks in it, it would have just made it super long. Um, but I did see like one or two comments from somebody saying, "Oh, y'all should have added flashbacks," and it would have made it whatever. So, what do y'all think? Let me know in the comment section if we should have added flashbacks. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Add flashbacks. Okay. All right. So now I know better, because I think that will help y'all kind of follow the story. I guess it's because it's been weeks with some of this stuff where y'all haven't seen what happened. So yeah, that's my bad, y'all. My bad. I learned from my mistakes. I'll do better. So next time we'll definitely add flashbacks into it. So all right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right. Well, we're going to shift gears and talk to this beautiful couple on your left, Aaliyah, Mr. Rasheen and Miss Tamara. Mm. So, Tamara, honey, that first date left a lot of viewers.
Yeah, the game. Before we go on to Tamara and Professor, the game was a filler. We wanted to add something, just a little bit of humor. You know what I'm saying? To kind of break because there was a little bit of drama happening. So we wanted to kind of break that. I think a lot of reality shows, when they film it, they end off in drama and they never really have like something to kind of make it feel like, calm. So when we added the game, it was more of like, all right, let's just do something to lighten the mood, lighten everybody. So we walk out and everybody's good, right? And of course, editing, we did the game at a certain point and edited at a certain point. I'm giving y'all a little behind the scenes, but yeah, that's how we did it.
In the comments thinking, who is going to save Tamara? How did you feel about that first date, Grace?
I have to admit, it was quite interesting. It will probably be on my list of one of my more interesting dates I've ever gone on. I felt like I was playing defense a lot of the time, trying to really steer the conversation. I tend to be a little bit. I'm not serious a lot of the time, to be transparent. I'm a very happy, kind of jovial person, but Rasheen is
I feel that.
very, very jokey. Like everything is a joke. So it was very difficult to kind of have a full conversation when I couldn't get a real response. So, yeah, it was. I went home and took a real good nap because I had worked hard.
And Rasheem, after your first therapy session, how did you feel about a possible future with Tamara? You uncovered a lot of things with Quest. How did you feel about embarking on a relationship journey with Tamara?
Yeah, what up?
She wasn't there, so that's what that journey was gonna look like.
So
Well,
Tamara,
caveat.
here we
I
got
was hoping we
my
would come to
guy.
this part.
He says Professor and Tamara was the match that never happened. The thing was, and I think we mentioned this before, and Tamara, correct me if I'm wrong. When you guys were on stage with each other, the initial chemistry was amazing, right? The vibes that you guys had. When you came back on the show, I'm not gonna lie, Tamara came back in really good faith. She came back, she really was open to seeing where this could lead. And at the because it was something there. But then at the date, things went a little left. Now I don't want to tell too much, Tamara. If you want to talk, feel free to talk. But correct, feel free to say what you gotta say.
I will be very brief. I'm not somebody who looks at somebody's physicality or at the things most people will say they want to look at. When I met Rasheem, we had a really great chemistry that first day. I was like, okay, he's kind of dope. You know what I mean? We all got something we're working on. So it was no judgment about anything with him. I think that's one thing people got wrong in the comments. They were like, "Oh, she didn't even like him." How do you know what I like? Like my my husband was a big man, so I never had a problem with his weight, what he looked like, anything like that. I thought he was dope. We had a French handshake and everything. I'm just that kind of person that I'm like that with people. I love people. So on a second date, when I got there, first of all, I drove an hour to get there, moved my schedule around to get there, and I sit down and there were a lot of sexual jokes being said. And I'm not saying it, I take a lot of things in stride, but these were things that you don't say to a woman. And Mingo knows what was said because he had to cut 90% of it out. That's why you guys didn't get a chance to see hardly in it because it wasn't even appropriate to put on YouTube, to be honest. And when you see me grab his hand in the interview, in the date, it's because I grabbed his hand. I said, "Yo, are you cool? Like, chill. It don't take all that. Like, let's just let it flow. Like, you don't have to say all of that." And so it was very uncomfortable. But I knew we were out, first of all, out in public in front of people at a family restaurant. Okay. We're filming. It's the first time I've ever been someplace like this with somebody who I thought was going to be cool. And this is how he came at me. I didn't realize, you don't know what's in somebody's head. You don't know what they're going through. So I was just like, okay, let me just get through this part of it. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to keep it pushing. But it was not small little things. It was enough for me to say, this ain't for me. This ain't it. And I think, I don't care if you're a man, woman, or child, if you're put in a situation like that, you get a chance to choose what's for you and what's not for you. And so I was kind of let down, to be honest, because I didn't know that that's how it was going to go, but it did. The end.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna lie. She you know, it was, and he would admit it as well. It was a lot of sexual jokes. It
But he
was
did admit
to
it. He admitted it on our last interview, Mingo. Remember, he said,
yeah,
I apologize to her for the things that I said to her. It was
yeah,
wrong. It was very wrong what I said to her.
right. So yeah, he apologized, like she said, he apologized for it on the live last time. We all were live together. It was extreme, and and she's right. We had to cut a lot of it out because it got to the point of disrespect. And the thing for YouTube as well, y'all know we try to keep the show as clean as possible, and we try our best not to really have a lot of disrespectful things happening on the show, sexual jokes and things like that. So we cut it out so that way we could respectfully have it on YouTube, show Tamara the respect, show him the respect as well, because I didn't want to destroy his character because it wasn't a good look. I'm not gonna lie to you.
No,
It
and
wasn't.
I remember I was concerned about my daughter seeing this. I have daughters who
Right.
would have had to see this, and I would have been very embarrassed for people to hear that. I'm not going to lie to you. And I have to, somebody asked in the comments, do I regret going back? And no, he was not drunk. He wasn't drunk. We weren't drinking. We were drinking soda, by the way. Um, do I regret going back? I don't regret anything I do. I came as Mingo said, I came in good faith.
Right.
I came to see. I met this man for a few minutes, guys. You have to understand. At the actual meeting, when he first eliminated me, we only knew each other for a few minutes. I know it seems like it's longer, but we knew each other for a few minutes. The chemistry was there. It was cool. I was like, oh, if nothing else, he could be my friend. Like I'm that kind of person. I'm fun. I'm coming in having a good time. Um, I came back the second time to say, okay, well, let's see how the conversation progresses. So there was no expectation, but I didn't expect what I got. And I think had people been able to see even part of it, what the way they received me later on and how they saw me speak later on would be different. But people didn't get to see it. And I'm glad y'all didn't see it, to be honest. All the comments and all things people got to say about me, I'm cool with it. But I think that people would have seen me a little differently had they knew what happened. You would understood why I reacted the way I did. Why there was
Right.
such an abrupt change.
Right. I feel you on that. Kendra, to speak on Tamara's on what's going on. Well, first of all, Marcus is here. Shout out to and salute to you, Marcus. Um, Kendra, to speak on Tamara's situation, because you were involved, like you didn't really know what was going on until she told you, but you were around the group. How did you feel about when you found out what happened?
It's inappropriate, regardless of circumstances, regardless of viewpoints, regardless of anything. If somebody says, hey, this is not okay, if somebody is expressing something of discomfort, it should be respected. So
Right,
at the end of the day, it goes it's just not appropriate, especially if we're on a show called Meet to Marry, right? You're
right,
meeting somebody to marry them, right? That's the intention. So if that's the case, the sexualized things should not be the forefront of your mind. It shouldn't be the first topic of conversation or the first date. It shouldn't.
right.
Never.
Right.
So that's just how I see it. And that's just the reality of things.
Okay. Well, we got Professor on here right now. Professor, we're talking about this whole what happened at the date with the jokes and that guy, and you, like we said, you also apologized to Tamara from the last live stream that we all were on. But since this is going to be our last for the season, do you have anything else you would like to say in regards to what happened that day?
Hey, let me know if you can hear me or not before I start.
We can hear you. We can hear you.
Okay, cool. No, I don't have anything else to say. I said what I needed to say. I haven't caught any of what was going on or what y'all were talking about, so I don't know what was said. But yeah, I have nothing else to add to what I've already said. Um, if you know, I've I've I joke with my female friends like that all the time. I joke with my I've joked online about it, like the same way. If at any point Tamara felt I was being disrespectful, she could have stopped the recording and we could have had a conversation and she could have said, well, I would have apologized right then and there. That never took place. If she felt so disrespected, we shouldn't have had a conversation after everybody left because she was so uncomfortable. She shouldn't have been around me at that point. So at the end of the day, I said what I had to say about me apologizing. It was what it was. Have I joked like that in the past with friends of mine? Yes, I should have been more cautious because she's not a friend of mine. Um, she's not somebody I really knew. I tried to reach out and get up with her prior to that. She had some other things that took place. One was an accident. The other one was she just didn't show up. So at the end of the day, I have nothing else to add to what um, what I've already said. I've already apologized. I'm not going to apologize again because I've already done it, and it is what it is.
Okay. Okay. Um, that's valid. And you could receive that, Tamara, since he apologized before, right?
This was a year ago. Um, it is what it is.
Okay. That's respectful. I could respect that. All right. Well, I'm happy that the gang is here. Marcus, you could be with us for a little bit.
You got me for about 15 more minutes before I have to hop off, but I'm happy to be here, see everybody as well.
Okay. All right. All right. Well, you know what? Let's then, in that instance, since we don't have you for long, I'm gonna move on to you guys' conversation. Just out of respect for your time.
But that being said, we're going to shift to Mr. Marcus. Big Marcus, what you call yourself, or people call you, because you said it. I remember, said it. And then Miss Kendra. So, Marcus, you got pretty vulnerable about your last relationship in your therapy session. Did you feel like Kendra was a safe place for your heart?
At that moment, yeah. I think for me, I always allow myself to be open with people regardless, even new folks, right? So with Kendra at that moment during the therapy session, I felt okay to share that because that's my story. That's who I am. So if you're somebody that potentially are going to try to be with me, I think it's good to know about, me. So yeah.
That's great. And also, Kendra, you shared about your previous marriage and doing some internal work as well. And how did you feel you were ready for a new relationship with the intent of being remarried? I feel as though I got married at 23 years old. I was young. I had no idea what was going on. It was military benefits, all that stuff, right? Now that I have an understanding of what true connection is, have an understanding of that's another human being.
Oh, Sandra, what up? What up, Sandra?
Having the understanding
I
that
was saying earlier, my wife looked gorgeous in that red. Like Betty Boop, right? Betty Boop or Betty Bop? I don't know. She looked gorgeous in that red. But yeah, I agree. That's her color. For real, for real. Shout out to you and salute to you for being here with us today. So let's keep going.
a relationship is not just about how I feel or about how the other person feels. It's about what we can accomplish together and what we can build and do more for each other. So just having more life experience, I think, yes. I say I'm ready for a relationship. Of course, I would have to be with the person for a little while before we get married because I don't want to do that young thing again where I got married quick, do that. Now, if it happens, it happens. But I'm in no rush. Okay. So, Marcus, it was really cute to watch you share with your sister your feelings about Kendra and your genuine excitement to being chosen by Kendra. But you also waited the 2 hours. And a lot of the viewers felt like it was pretty hard to watch. So, going back to that moment, how did you feel?
I mean, honestly, I think anybody in a position in a similar position would feel, a little jaded, a little, like, okay, well, hey, things happen, but, you know, why it had to happen on this particular night? Like it's like, okay.
Guy, what up?
But at the moment I can say I was maybe annoyed, a little upset, maybe a little disappointed. But, I think once Kendra communicated with me, just letting me know the situation and things of that nature, I can't be mad. We all are grown adults. Life happens, and you got to do what you have to do to make sure that you're able to live. So at the end of the day, I understood. So
Okay. Well, Marcus, you are.
And in all due respect, right? This is just from the production side. Kendra and Marcus was in touch with each other. She did let him know that she was at work. So, just from my perspective, when we were there, she let him know we were at work. We waited. The idea was to do our best to get the shoot. And unfortunately, we didn't. But Kendra, you did come after the fact. So you didn't just kind of disappear and not show up. So for those that did watch the actual show, but not the live stream, that was something that we mentioned as well prior, that Kendra did show up for the date. It just was late, and it was because she was stuck at work. Anything you want to say about that, either one of y'all?
I'll say this. People that are in the automotive industry understand, which is why most of the people that you meet in the automotive industry are either going through a divorce, they're going through separation, they're going through some type of marital issue, some type of relationship issue, is because of our time. I'm no longer in the automotive industry. I got out because I get tired of it after a while. 70 hours a week, constantly have to chase contracts and stuff like that, like managing a team and managing a staff, and they're grown adults and you're managing them, and then you're going back and forth with it. It's a lot. So coming from management, automotive, finance, it's a lot. And a lot of people, I was reading some of the comments, if you don't know your schedule, if you can't plan, then why even schedule a date? That's the telltale sign you don't know how the automotive industry works. I'm scheduled to be off at 6 o'clock. I don't leave till 8 o'clock, because if I leave, that means I have to split my money with somebody else. So I just worked 5 hours with this one customer for me to leave on time. Now I got to split my money in half just to deliver the car to somebody else. It doesn't make sense. I'm not going to lose out on $1,500, split that in half just so I can go. You know what I mean? Like, no. So
Right.
that's just my take with it. I no longer work there anymore. I'm not in the automotive industry. I've had people reach out to me for me to get back into the automotive industry. I'm just like, I'm good. Like, I really want to, I'm in a place of my life where I am settling down. And yeah, so settling down. And as I'm settling down, it's like, I don't want to work those hours anymore. I want to work 40 hours a week, off on the weekends. And that's what I've been doing. So like, I have made adjustments in my own life. I made adjustments with my finances. It's been a rough year, but I've managed to do so. So I'm very thankful for what God has put in place for me.
Okay, that's what's up. That's what's up. And we could all respect that. I mean, of course, I always say when you look at these type of shows, you only get snippets, right? You don't get like the whole picture. So, people only see what they can. So I get it. But all in all, you made the date, you came through after and y'all got an opportunity to actually hang out. So, those are things that people don't see on camera. Right. Marcus, anything you wanted to say about that before we move on?
no, again, like I said, even with that situation and the shooting and after, right? Kendra was very communicative. She texted me, she let me know, and I will give her props for that, because she was very adamant about letting me know, and she apologized profusely. So I just want to make it very clear to everybody. Kendra did show up in that light of like, hey, work got me here, and that's why I couldn't be mad. At the end of the day, I can't be mad at that, because if I was in the same position, hey, listen, I got to get my bread. That's my livelihood. So
Right. That's respect. That's respect. All right. So let's move on a little bit. And
Also,
what we
a
got
big
going on.
topic, like I said, with the viewers who felt really divided when it came to how you were perceived. A lot of them said, nice guys finish last. And is that something that you've heard a lot in your dating past? Is it just me, or
honestly,
I can't hear nothing?
yes.
Dennis, what up?
I
You
think a
can't hear
lot of
that?
I
people
can't hear anything.
assume because I am gentle, because I
Hold on,
am
audience, could y'all hear? Because I can
on
hear
the
it.
quieter
Everybody else, can
side,
y'all hear it?
they think, oh, he's very passive. No, that's actually the opposite. If you
I can't
truly
see. I
know
got these
me,
glasses on. Lord have
I am
mercy.
opinionated. I will let people know how I feel, and I stand very strongly on what I believe. Um, so, people are always going to assume. I think that's the one thing this show has helped me kind of remember and realize is that people are going to perceive you however they will, but you have to, as an individual, showcase like, okay, that's cool, but this is who I am. So
Marcus and I had conversations about that, right? Because sometimes some people in the comment section obviously just say reckless things. And one thing that he and I spoke about was people saying like, "Oh, you're a simp," or all of those ridiculous, disrespectful things without even context of who he is or how he is. Just a couple minutes on camera. So but I get it. You put yourself out there, you put your face out there, and you're kind of open for judgment. But Marcus, any things that you want to say in, because I don't think you should defend yourself at all. Because I think you know who you are, and we all know who you are. But anything you want to say when it comes down to the comment section and how people were viewing you?
Listen, I'll say it like this, y'all. I think a lot of people, it's easy to say things behind the screen when you're not living in it. I I love the audience. I love the people that watch, but when individuals attack individuals' character, who they are, without knowing the full picture of who they are, again, I get it. This show portrays parts of them, but to come at me, any of the other cast members, um, in a false pretense, it does hurt, right? Like that's just not who I am. But again, as Mingo stated, like we understood that this was going to be a door open to us when we started shooting. So yeah, I can get mad. There's a few people I responded to, but at the end of the day, I was on the show, right? I was on the show,
Right.
and
Right.
I went through those motions, and at the end of the day, I can say that I made it through it. A better me, and I appreciate everybody, the positive and the negative. And I'm not going to allow comments to stop my growth, and put me down. I'm just going to use it to push me forward.
Right. Right. And I think that could go across the board between everybody that's on the camera now, and including myself. Like people always got something negative to say. It's just part of like what it is. Some people get more backlash than others, but I think when you put yourself out there, think about it. Like I always say this, how many people love Beyonce in this world? But then you'll see how many negative comments she'll get as well, right? It's just part of putting yourself out there. It's part of being in this industry. So, I mean, but you have to learn from it. At first, it used to hurt me too. I used to be like, "Yo, what the hell?" I used to only attack the people that said something negative about me, and then I'll have all these positive comments about what I was doing, and I would ignore those positive comments to only address the negative. And I realized, like, why am I doing that? Why am I not talking to the people that are saying the positive stuff about me? Because they're the ones that's my audience. So, yeah, I had to learn from that as well. So, that's just kind of how it goes. I know because even Tamara and Professor, both of y'all got negative comments on both ends as well. Along with Kendra, like it was kind of brutal. But anything y'all want to say about that as well between Tamara and Professor?
I'm choosing my words very carefully. If it extends past comments, I'm just gonna say to the audience, if it goes past comments, you're doing too much. People are watching us on a show that we came on in good faith, whether it was good, bad, or indifferent, what you felt about us. If it extends past the comment section, it's doing too much. And I say that because I literally have had, I definitely don't want to.
Tamara, you're breaking up. You're breaking up.
Okay, can you hear me now?
I'll be honest, I can't hear anything.
Kendra, if you can't hear, drop and come right back. Yeah, Tamara, I couldn't hear what she was saying. So
I think she dropped to try to get back on.
She'll come back on. Professor, in that interim, you want to say anything? Because you got a lot of negative as well.
Hey man, hey, if you know, if you don't have negative, it don't make the positive seem as good. You know, I expected to see the negative. It is what it is. I've been doing YouTube for close to 2 years now. I stay out of the comments for the most part. People are allowed to have their own opinions and to create their own narratives of you, and that's fine. I have no issues with that. Um, so you know, say what you need to say. You know, I don't know you. You don't know me. At the end of the day, it is what it is, and say what you need to say. Because at the end of the day, I enjoy the engagement. It's good for the show. It means I left in some sort of impression, whether good, bad, or indifferent, with the audience that's watching. So at the end of the day, um, you know, they can create whatever narrative they want. It is what it is. Like I said, I've been doing this for over 2 years, so it's not like I'm new to negative comments. So, um, yeah, that's what I had to say on that.
Okay. That I can respect that. I can respect that. We can hear you, but you sound super glitchy.
Who, me?
No, I heard everything you said, Professor.
Okay.
I'm talking Tamara. And Kendra, could you hear everything now? Kendra, you there? You can hear?
I don't think she can hear still.
Yeah.
Is anybody talking? Can y'all hear me?
We are.
Well, I can't hear you though. I see you moving your head, but I can't hear you. I don't understand what's happening. Hold on.
It's probably your output. It's probably your outputs on your speaker. That's probably why. I don't know if you can hear this, but that's likely why. Tamara, you there? You can hear? Ooh, we are having some technical difficulties tonight. You know what I'm saying? My wife is in the building. Shout out to Dion. Kendra, you can hear?
I can hear now.
Okay, good. All right. Tamara, how about you?
I can hear you, Kendra.
Yeah, I can hear Kendra now.
I disconnected from my Wi-Fi. That's what I
She
did.
couldn't hear us. Yeah. All right. And Tamara, how about you?
Okay.
I guess not.
Now I can't hear nobody. God dog, what Mingo done did?
What's going on with y'all? What's going on with y'all?
I ain't having no problems over here. So
yeah, I'm good over here too. I can hear everything.
I disconnected from my Wi-Fi. That's what made it better for me. I don't know if that's going to help Tamara if she's connected to Wi-Fi or not.
I think Tamara's in the car, so she probably. So I think Professor's in the car as well. So I think that's why they, you know what I'm saying? My boy said, y'all Wi-Fi good.
That's why I waited. That's why I waited till I got home to say anything because I was like, I'm in the car going to South Carolina. It's too staticky.
Right. That's real. All right. You know what? I'm gonna play a little bit more of the show. I'm guessing as we play, I know y'all two have some unfinished business that y'all could or choose not to talk about. The audience wants to know some things, but you know, it's all up to y'all on what y'all want to disclose, what y'all want to talk about. No pressure. Don't feel forced. It's part of the game. So let's continue and we'll move on just a little bit. See what we got.
Also, you had your axe throwing date that we all got to watch. And one word, Kendra, that you mentioned was interesting when it came to your feelings about Marcus. So please help us understand what you meant.
So that Carolina Wi-Fi.
Do I say this or do I not say this?
You say it, girl.
We here.
That's what we're here for.
It's the place
say it,
to say it. That was Marcus and I have hung out prior to that. So it wasn't really our first date. Well, second date.
Mm-hmm.
So things has happened prior to that were not caught on camera.
Keep it cute.
So it allows me to make a decision. And once I make my decision, that's kind of like, that's it. Like I can't go back on it. So I had to film and go and do and finish. So, I mean, it's all good. Like there's no hate.
With filming, sorry to
You're fine.
yeah, interrupt. But like with filming, if you knew that, you know, how you felt after that, like, then why didn't you necessarily communicate and kind of like end it off at that point?
We communicated a lot. We were on FaceTime a lot. We talked about it. We had our moments. What do you have to say?
In the way that you're putting it.
I'm not trying to make it sound bad, so fix it.
So no. And I'm gonna say it like this. How you perceived it and how you how we both perceived it, right? I think you tried to hold on to something with that to make it seem like this is who Marcus is versus learning who I was as we went through this show. Because even though we both had our offer, that one off camera date incident, whatever you want to call it, I still said, hey, I'm willing to work forward. I'm willing to say, hey,
Move past it.
move past this because this is not me. And I know that it's not you. But every time we would do shootings and do something after the shootings as in hang out, you still would bring up the past. So to me, it didn't feel like you were trying to let that go.
My safety was compromised.
But you
It's
still
hard to.
But you still hung out with me, just us afterward.
But we were in public. We were never alone ever. So it's still, I still felt safe because I'm out in public.
Okay.
So let's talk about that, guys. Let's talk about it. I don't know how much y'all want to dig into that, but of course, it left the audience kind of like, what's going on? I think it left people in a way feeling like Marcus did something harmful to you to some degree, Kendra, and for Marcus trying to his best to clean it up. And I think also Kendra got a lot of backlash on it because people kind of felt like, well, is there any truth to what you're saying? So I don't know how much I want to dive into this, but feel free.
Who's first?
When I said that, I was trying to find the appropriate words. And as you continue on, you're going to see that I tried to like correct myself. Did he put me in a circumstance that made me feel uncomfortable? To a certain degree. And that's where the backlash came from. You had all the ability to leave. You could have did this, you could have did that and the third. But when you are invited to one particular event, and that is the whole thought process of the event, and then it turns into something else, it's like, was this planned? Was this the intention of what was happened? And then I wasn't asked if I was going to be okay with it. So it's not about me. Oh, you had all the ability to leave. I was having a fun time. Don't get me wrong. I was having a blast. I was having a fantastic time. It was a party of people. It was his frat brothers. It was a lot of people involved. There was kids involved. The kids left. The people with the kids left. And then, mind you, there's alcohol involved. So with alcohol involved, I'm not driving my car when there's alcohol involved. I'm not driving my vehicle. Okay. I have had experiences in the past where I would get behind the wheel after I was drinking and things happen. And I refuse to do that. I'm an adult. I'm not doing that no more. I'm not gonna leave an environment when I've been drinking.
period. That's just hands down. You could have got an Uber. That means my car is going to be left at this strange man's house. I don't know this person. I'm only here because of Marcus. I'm not going to leave my personal property at a strange house that I barely know the address to because I literally just followed the GPS directions to get there. I came to a cookout. I came to this type of environment and it turned into something else. So for me, it was like, was this planned? So when I said my trust was compromised, I didn't feel safe, that's what I meant. And I don't know. That was the first time like me and him were actually like meeting up and like saying, "Hey, like let's try to see each other in person." And that's my first impression. So for me it's like this is insane. So it's like okay, like I don't have anything else to go from. My first impression was this hyper sexual environment and I'm supposed to believe that this was not planned. Like I don't know him. I don't know him from a grain of salt. I just met you. I'm thinking that it's an innocent cookout. It's something innocent. It had nothing like that to be involved, right? And then it turned to something else. Regardless of I know the comments. Someone to send me the screenshots of Marcus because I didn't see the comments that Marcus had even said. I didn't even know he even said anything on the post. So I got somebody sent me the screenshots and I'm reading what he said and I'm just like, wow, that's crazy. And I'm not going to disagree with what he said because did I do what he said? Yes. But the whole reason, the whole purpose of me saying what I said was the consent of me saying, "Hey, this is what the night was going to be like. This is what's going to happen. This is what's going to happen. Are you okay with that?" That is what I was like. This is not where I feel comfortable with. Regardless of if me being involved, I never had the option of declining in the first place. And that's why me and Marcus kept going back and forth because he's like, that wasn't the intention of the night. That wasn't the intention. And then his apology to me was, I apologize for how the night made you feel, but I don't apologize for the night. And I'm just like, that's not an apology. And that's where me and him started going back and forth. And that's where the whole miscommunication comes into place because he says one thing, I'm thinking another. And it's like now you got people attacking me that weren't even there, that don't even know the situation. They don't even know what happened. They just know the brief information of what he said, the brief information of what she said, and that's fine. But at the end of the day, when you go to a cookout, you expect to meet people, food, and all of that. So for anything extra that happened after that is kind of like, what did I get myself into? Like this isn't what I decided to agree to show up to. So that was
So
my whole point.
just before Marcus goes, real quick, the question I would have for Kendra is this: what if y'all went to a party? Because for those that's confused in the audience, they went off camera, of course, to a party, and at this party, it was just a regular cookout. The cookout turned sexual to nature. To some degree, and I don't believe it was everybody in the cookout or everybody that was there, from what I'm understanding. And I don't know. I wasn't there, but from what I heard, so what it sounds like, it got sexual, and yeah, and from what it sounds like was that you yourself was like, well, did Marcus plan this? And if I'm correct, but what if he didn't plan it though? And what if it was just something that happened?
That was the first time that I met him, so I have nothing else to grasp from. I have nothing else to go off of. So think about it from my perspective as a woman, that this is a frat party. Like this is like his frat brothers are here. And this, like I said, this is just my perspective. I'm not blaming anything, but this is just my perspective. Going to college, being around different college people, like those are the parties that they would do. And like I'm not saying anything, but from my perspective, that was my mentality. So I had nothing else to go off of, especially with that being our first initial interaction with each other after just having phone calls and text messages back and forth. That's the first time I met you in person, and that's the first impression that I have. What else do I have to go off of?
Okay, Marcus, what do you have to say about everything?
So, first of all, I want to make it very clear. I invited you to the cookout. Now, again, yes, Once the cookout ended, several people stayed. Some of us stayed to clean up. Right. Once we got finished cleaning up and we sat down somewhere and we started talking and that transition happened, not only did I ask you, were you okay? But somebody asked you something and you agreed to it.
So to piggyback off of that, I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying. I had an experience I have never experienced in my entire life,
But hold on, I'll
ever.
let you talk. I'll let you talk. No, I'll let you talk.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
For you to sit here and say that I did not try to make sure you were safe or that you were not asked is ludicrous. Not only do I have proof that I asked, but you admitted to me not putting you in a situation and such, which I could play right now. Because what I don't appreciate is when I stood up for you and you on your platform called me a pedophile and all these negative things and then try to say now I'm all this. It's ridiculous. And you say that you are for man's mental health.
Don't pull that
It's
in.
no, because you brought my frat into it. You brought my frat into it. So I'm bringing no.
All
We
right.
don't get to play those games
That's fine.
because you have to take accountability for what you decided to do. And again, okay, you live 15 minutes from that property that we were on. 15 minutes. Oh, yeah, we Googled it. We talked about it. So what I want to make it very clear, is that Marcus he did his best to make sure that one, he made sure you were okay and he asked questions, which you said I didn't, but I did. Which you said there were a lot of few things that you did not mention or you had incorrectly said, which we cleared that up during conversation. But again, I'm not here to bash. I'm not here for us to go back and forth. But what I'm not going to sit here and allow is for this picture of me to be painted as if I was a pedophile. And you talk about you were wild at me posting what happened on Instagram when you on your stories called me a pedophile, saying all these negative things about me when I stood up for you. That is what hurts me the most. No, Kendra, I don't want to hear it right now. Because at the end of the day, you hurt me more than I hurt you. Because I stood up for you. When you was down or needed me, I was there. And you could call me for anything. That hurt me to think that my caring heart would try to get turned against me like that. And just so everybody can hear it, you know what? I'm gonna leave it alone because it's like this. I got everything that's gonna protect me in every way. Because I again stood up. I stood up for what was right, even though yes, that night was not planned by me. That night I was not. That was not something that I would have brought you in willingly. But for you to continue a show with me, for me for us to still hang out after shoots, to still talk and all this stuff, if I put that kind of you in that kind of environment, it's just I just can't understand it.
You want to know what I can't understand is why on earth, the only reason why I opened my big mouth and started talking crap like I did was because I'm over here trying to reconnect and try to understand why my producer has pulled away from me. And apparently, somebody has been telling Mingo that I've been talking crap about him. I reached out to everybody, at least all the girls, at least. And I was asking questions like, who's talking shit? Who's talking bull crap? Who's talking this? Who's talking this? And saying these things about my producer when my producer has my career of what I'm trying to do for my life in my hand. So I put two and two together. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, like, is he really sitting there talking bad and saying and spreading lies to my producer about what had happened or about what I have said or about what I have said? And that's what set me off because if you look at my social media, Marcus,
No, you
everything that
blocked
had
me. You
happened,
blocked me. You blocked me. Remember?
whatever, if anybody looks at my social media over the past year, because this happened over a year ago, I didn't say anything on threads, on Instagram. I didn't post anything about it. All I did was go on a date with the girl that was involved. We talked about it. She apologized to me. She sent me messages and apologized to me, trying to clarify some things and saying that she says the consent is a big major thing in her life and she apologizes. She doesn't know what anybody else's intentions were for that night, but she apologizes because of what she had going on. So I got that apology from her in that aspect. And that's understandable. But the thing that really that I've talked to you about multiple times, Marcus, was I apologize for the night, but I apologize for how the night made you feel, but I don't apologize for the night. So
Listen,
that is the apology that I had received from you. And we talked about it multiple times. And you said the same thing, what you're about to say now. That's not what I said as an apology. I never apologized like that. Why do I have that in my mind? Because I know we were on the phone when you said that to me.
you had it in your mind. You was sitting across from me too, but you was sitting on my lap.
I don't remember
Kendra,
that. So,
well,
and I'll
So
say this.
again, listen,
I'll
we're
say
not
this
gonna
real
go
quick.
back. We're not about to
No,
go
I'll
back and
say
forth.
this real quick. I'll say this real quick. There was a lot of alcohol involved. There was a lot. And I'm not blaming the alcohol. Blame it on the alcohol. I'm not blaming it on the alcohol. I'm blaming that on the ability for me to leave. Because I've had experiences with myself, which is why I have the car that I have now. I'm not about to sit here and get in the car behind the wheel. I don't care if it's 15 minutes, 5 minutes, where I don't care. I'm not driving. I'm not leaving my car anywhere where I don't feel comfortable leaving my vehicle. I don't know these people. I'm not leaving my car. I'm not doing that. We talked about that. And I said that, which is why I stayed.
And I told you,
And I was very clear with that.
listen.
it sounds to me like this, right? Um, if you're in a compromise, if your safety is compromised, nothing else should matter, right? Like this is how I look at it, and I'm gonna just speak on what I'm hearing now. If for any reason my safety is compromised, I don't care if my car is there. I don't care if my friends are there. I'm out. And they don't want to leave. I'm out. Like we got to go. But the other thing too is in this situation, from what I'm gathering, what it sounds like there was alcohol involved. You guys were in high. Well, maybe were you inebriated, Marcus? Were you drunk?
I was not drunk. I was tipsy. And at the
Right.
time, when Kendra told me she was tipsy too.
I
But
had
we,
So
3 double shots. I
so
was
so
definitely
Kendra
tipsy. I was definitely feeling
Kendra
it.
you was tipsy or drunk, like to the point of like
I wasn't drunk. I was tipsy to the point where I knew that if y'all see how thick my glasses are. When I get in the car with contacts when it's dark outside, people that have contacts and glasses, they understand what I'm talking about. The lights blow up times 10. They blow up. I have negative 11 vision. I am not supposed to, technically, I'm not supposed to be driving when it gets dark, especially if I have glasses on, especially if I have contacts. And that's by my license, that's by the DMV. So I'm not supposed to be doing those things, which is why I don't like to go out and drink and drive. If I
so then
go
that's
out,
why I
I
would
don't even
say
go out.
I've witnessed you do it. So
You
so
witnessed me,
that's why I
and I
would
was
say
5 minutes
that's
from
why
my
I would say
house,
in that
you
and
never.
instance.
I was in a familiar area. I didn't have the GPS to go home. So yes, I've done it multiple times. I've done it before by the bar that's right down the street from my house. That's 2 minutes down the street. Yeah, sure. I did drive. Absolutely. I've also walked from that bar too, home. I've also walked from that bar.
Kendra, we've been in Charlotte too. But listen, again, I don't want to. This is what I'm saying because I'm honestly over it. I've learned so much from you, and I appreciate the beginning and the now. I've grown to be able to say this. I'm not mad at you. I'm not mad at anything that was done. But what I won't tolerate is the negative things. And no, I've never talked bad about you. Mingo. Mingo knows, even though we've had conversations, I've never gossiped to him about anything which you have done or said. Because
So
like I
even
said,
even in that instance, the thing that came back to me, Kendra, was more of what you were saying. Like, I made the show. You did me a favor by being on the show. Things along those lines. That's what came back to me. And to me, when I hear those things, and I'm like, I had this show beforehand. I was gonna have this show regardless.
Without
And
me.
those are the things that and they came back to me through multiple people. And for me, I'm like, nah. And then it borderline where hearing you say things like regarding things that we spoke about with the NDA, and potentially trying to do, or potentially, possibly being able to do things that can jeopardize the show, if that makes sense. And for me, I have to fall back. Legally, I have to fall back. I spoke to my attorney on it. He's like, yo, fall back. He was like, you can, when it pertains to the show, leave it there. That's it. No friendship, no talking, no nothing. So that's where I really fell back on when it came down to the jeopardy of the actual show, if that makes sense.
It makes
But
sense. But
as far as you and Marcus goes, um, like I said, this thing, I think it got dragged on, if that makes sense. Like oh, sorry, Tamara. I think this thing got dragged on. It was a year ago.
I can't hear you.
We started filming June of last year. So all of this stuff happened so long ago, and it's sad that it's still kind of being brought up today as a thing. I would say I would like for it to be clear that Marcus, because I just for me to hear Kendra, you can hear me?
I can now.
Okay. Yeah, I was just saying that, like, as far as the whole thing going was between you and Marcus, is, this thing happened a year ago. And when we look at it, his name was dragged. He was called a pedo and things like that. Regardless of whatever happened, that is very hard to put on a man. And it's you have a very large following on social media, and that following can basically make his name, it can ruin his life. And that's where I believe, and when he got wind of that, you said that those are the things that hurt him more than anything. I don't want to speak for you, Marcus, but I'm just speaking from what I observed. So I don't know if Kendra, if you feel like you still stand 10 toes down on what you said about Marcus and how you feel about him, or if there's some form of reconciliation where we can move on and these things are like kind of put to bed.
like I said, go ahead.
No, say what you gotta say.
No, like I said, I have gotten over the situation. I left it alone when things got brought up and things were stated. I defended myself, and then when I heard that things were being said about me, instead of me suing or anything, it's like, listen, I don't mind saying what has to be said, but I'm not trying to be disrespectful to Kendra. I'm not being disrespectful to anybody that was involved at the cookout, because again, that's their privacy. What happened there should have stayed there. What happened, if it wasn't going to be told at all, it should have never been brought up. That's all I'm saying. Because again, if that was how you felt during the shooting, we should have stopped shooting. We should have stopped communicating and be done with it. We could have moved on with life.
And you know the timeline of this, so I'm going to stop there.
Timeline timeline doesn't matter. It doesn't.
Marcus, if you would like to have a conversation after this,
No,
that's very calm
after this, I'm
and
good.
everything.
I'm good with us. I'm
Exactly.
good.
So, like the reconciling, like Mingo just said, it's not going to happen. He doesn't want to talk.
You blocked
I
me
blocked
first.
you off. I blocked you off social media. I didn't block your
You
phone
blocked
number.
my number too because I
I didn't block
texted.
your number. I didn't block your number.
Well, it went green for me. So
I didn't block your number. I blocked you off Instagram. I didn't block your phone number.
Okay. I think a lot of this could be put to bed now. And when I say now, meaning that, if basically what I'm just saying is clearing the air that Marcus is not those things that you said. If you don't really feel that way, or if you was just saying it because you was upset and mad at him,
Oh,
then that's one
absolutely. I
thing.
was pissed off. Absolutely. Because I'm trying to figure out where the negativity is coming from. So when people are reaching out to me and saying, hey, let's hang out outside of this, I said no, because I don't know who is talking crap and saying these things to my producer when my producer has my career of what I'm trying to do in his hands. So that is the craziest part that I have. And I already have trust issues. My mom has already mentioned to me I need to go to a trauma therapist. I need to go to trauma because of everything that I have been through in my life. It has nothing to do with this experience. I'm talking about my overall life. This doesn't help what I've already been through. This doesn't help. But
I think Tamara was
why would I say certain things in regards to it when I know that he literally has what I'm trying to do in the palm of his hands, and the plans that he has told me is literally in the palms of my hands in the back of my mind. So
This
at
what
the
I
end of the day, I don't mind being held accountable. I don't mind any of that. Do I feel bad about saying what I said about Marcus? Yes, I do. Because when I made that post, I was with one of my homeboys and he was like, don't post that. Don't post that. And I posted it anyway. Because I was pure rage and I was pissed. Because I'm just like, okay, I'm reaching out to these people and they're saying that, oh, I never said anything bad. I never said this. I never said that. It's like, okay, so now my trust is compromised everywhere. Everywhere. So when Tamara's sitting there saying, "Oh, we know each other on the show," we only know each other because we were filming. We don't know each other personally. We don't know each other in that aspect. We really don't.
Mingo, can you hear me? First of all,
Yeah,
hold on.
I can hear you.
Okay, Kendra, first of all, as we spoke on social media, I said to you, you know who you're talking to. Okay. I've never done anything to you. And when all the women got together, we invited you out out of the kindness of our heart. We don't have nothing to do with none of this. You sent me a message on social media asking me, was I talking about you? I'm a grown woman. I have no reason to talk about you. There's nothing about you that I need to talk about. All the women reached out to you in kindness and in love. You came back with some jabs. Everybody let it go. So
No one.
I'm
You
the
were the only one that reached
one
out to
that's
me to hang out. No one else reached out to me to hang out.
they're not going to because you're acting like you acting. So why would they? And I was the one organizing the whole event. It was a whole spa day, all of that good stuff. I was the one I was treating everybody. It was supposed to be a good time, but we're not bringing everybody together for no drama, no chaos. We're all getting together to have a good time. So no, they're not gonna reach out to you if they ask me, hey Tamara, you just speak to Kim, and I'm like, well, yeah, but when I did, she was like, well, you've been talking about me. Girl, no, it wasn't. And I told you I didn't have nothing to say about you. Now you know how it was said and what it was said, and there you have it. But everybody, we wanted to reach out to you in love and solidarity. That's all it was. Just good energy. Whatever you on, and that's on you. But it have nothing to do with me and none of the other women either. We've all gotten together since then, had great times. It has nothing to do with none of that. That's a
Okay.
you thing. You carry that.
Okay.
So, how do you feel about? You want to respond to Tamara and what she said?
I don't really have anything to say, other than the fact that when she reached out to me saying that, oh, we were all going to hang out and do this, that, and the third, it was like a secondhand invitation more so. So like that's why I was like, okay, like I don't want to be invited if you guys don't really want me to be there. That's okay. And that's fine. Because like I mentioned before, we know each other, but we know each other surface level. I think Tamara, myself, and Aaliyah hung out once after filming. We never hung out more times after that. We never hung out outside of filming. So I don't want anybody to sit there and think that, oh, we know each other like that. We really don't know each other like that. We follow each other on social media. We hung out once after filming and we said our goodbyes. We said, hey, and this, that, and the third, and that's okay. The reality is, we really don't know each other like that. We
Hence the reason
don't.
why. Hence the reason why we're all going to Valentine Resort to have a great time. And how is it a secondhand invitation when someone's telling you, "I'm inviting you, I'm footing the bill. It's going to be a whole key. It's going to be a whole time." And I get bought back with I get negativity back, sweetie. At the end of the day, you don't want to go. You don't want to go. I'm not spending my money on somebody who don't really want to be there. You someone, well, if you really don't want me there, girl, this was not cheap. We were going to have a great time. It was supposed to be a bonding experience. I don't know what you want, but whatever you on it. And we went, we're going to go and have a good time anyway. There was nothing secondhand about it. I reached out to you in solidarity and in love. That's it. Now, whatever problem you got, again, that's a you thing. Handle that.
And
But love is
my
love. That's all
res-
it was.
my response to you was, I have been mistreated by people in the past multiple times. I do have trust issues. And I said what I said and I meant what I said. And I don't hang out with people that I don't that I don't want to.
And I see some of
If I
you.
don't want to hang out, I'm not going to hang out regardless if there's an invitation there. I'm not going to show up. That's just how I feel. I don't care that you're paying for things. And I understand your heart. You're trying to be nice, trying to be kind. I'm not saying that I don't appreciate you paying for things, but I don't care that that you're paying for things, because if I don't want to be there, I don't want to be there.
And that's fine. That's why I said, okay. I said, I appreciate it, Kendra. You have a great day. And you see, I didn't bother you again. It wasn't about the payment, sweetie. It ain't about the money. It was about the love behind it. And somebody said, "Oh, why do you guys act like you were fake happy when you really don't like each other?" What you're hearing right now is individual situations that are going on individual people. There's been love there the whole time for people who wanted to receive the love. That everybody not going to love everybody, and that's okay too. There's nothing fake about it. There are many people on the show. I mean, honestly, Aaliyah and amazing people are receiving of the love we've all given them. We all support them. Not to mention, there are times I've reached out to Marcus. Marcus reached out to me. To be honest, today or tomorrow, me and Professor don't have to agree, but I can sit next to a brother at a basketball game. He can sit there and he can talk about who he talking about. I can talk about who he talking about. I don't hate the man. As a couple, did we match? No. But as a human to human, I ain't got no problem with the brother. Like, just be so for real. Be respectful. I'm be respectful of you. I can be respectful of him. We could be cool. I don't hate nobody in this world, and I'm sure he don't either. I'm not gonna put words in a man's mouth. Hey, there's no hate here. Hate is a very strong word, and nobody is disliking anybody. You're here. What you're hearing now are different people who have different challenges with themselves or whatever with the show, and it's just now coming out. It's the last time we're all gonna probably speak to each other, and it is what it is, and it ain't what it ain't. Y'all don't take it too far. And I was saying, Bingo, before I even got off, I was booted off. And some people probably were glad I was booted off. They're probably tired of hearing my mouth, and that's okay too. I was saying that what people put in the comments means something. Just like we had somebody else who had a situation where somebody was sending them threats. It's happened to a lot of us on this cast. A lot of us, myself included. As I mean, the fact remains is that when it gets beyond the comments and it gets to people sending you messages about your children, harassing you, posting my address, had somebody follow me, it's a bit too much. So understand that being on TV is all great while the cameras are on. The show has been amazing and pivotal in so many different ways. We all have lives outside of this, which is why I said what I said about Marcus. I said, let's get it right. Let's not put it out here that he's a pedo and this, that, and the third, because that man has a whole life outside of here. If something happened in a situation that was outside of the show with two other people, then they can deal with that. But it had nothing to do with the show, and there's no reason for him to be called that, because that could affect his home life. That could affect the things he got going on. Somebody following me, posted my home address, and
threatening my children can affect me too. And whether or not people in the audience like my voice, want to hear what I have to say, the fact is I came on the show with love in my heart. I'm a professional speaker by trade. It's what I do. I love to communicate. It's what I'm paid to do. So I do apologize for those who did not want to hear my voice. You don't have to come to see me speak. I'm okay with that. But I hope you remember me for truth. I hope you remember me for taking up for Marcus and for standing with everybody on that show when I needed to. Because one thing I'm not scared of is to speak my truth. You can like it, you can love it, you can be indifferent about it, but Tamara's gonna be okay.
The
And
difference
man,
between you being able to say your truth, I can't fully say my truth. I can't fully say my truth because of NDAs and timelines and things like that. I can't fully say my truth. So
but
that's the difference between you and I.
but you kind of said it already. People are in the people.
No, I
You're
haven't.
in the windows. I
No, I
mean,
haven't.
how did Usher say, if you're going to tell it all? At the end of the day, you guys had this is a situation outside of the show that should not have been brought to the show unless it had something to do with the show. Like you really convoluted the whole situation and confused everybody. Then you call the man a pedo. Now you say he's not a pedo. Like it's like
I never took it back.
That's all people are asking. Stand in order to get off of it. Because at the end of the day, people begin to have their own thought processes and ideologies about what you mean when you don't tell it. That's messed up. As a black man, it's hard enough in this world. You say
It
mental
is
health.
hard enough. You're completely right. It is hard enough. Now, will I take it back now? Absolutely, I'll take it back now. I will take it back
We
because I
are
was upset.
who should be loving on each other and lifting each other up. Yeah, we all had our individual
Absolutely.
situations. But the fact is, you do not, as a woman, you do not get a chance to say false allegations against somebody like that. That is wrong, and I couldn't stand for you to do it. That's why I told you, I said I got mad love for you, but that's the wrong stuff you doing. Don't do that. Mad or not, I ain't never said nothing about nobody like that. That man, they can get back to that man's job. They can let that man go. Anything can happen. Lord, I'm not praying for that. We gonna not put that in the atmosphere. But you don't know how that type of stuff could manifest and grow. Black men have been killed, hurt for less. And here you are running your mouth and saying something like that. And I don't respect it. I didn't respect it today, tomorrow, and I won't next week. And the fact that you say it now and say I was mad, that's what Emmett Till got killed. Emmett Till got killed for a lie. Understand how our black men are perceived already. If people say whatever they want to say about me, but what you will not say is I don't love my people and I don't stand up for them. You was wrong.
And I agree,
And
which is why I said what I said.
my love for you. And that's why I stood up and I said it. People can say what they want to say about my mouth. But what you won't say is I sat by and let wrong go on and let it ride. I didn't and I won't.
Okay. And that's fine. And I'm not going to sit there and disagree with you. I'm not going to disagree with you. Was I completely wrong by saying those things that I did? Absolutely. I will sit there and I'll take it back now. I didn't take it back prior to this conversation. I did not take it back prior to this conversation. I'll take it back now. Was I upset? Absolutely. Because I felt as though that Marcus was trying to bus roll me, throw me under the bus, and say these things. And that's okay. It's okay, Marcus. I'm
Girl,
not.
let
I'm
me
not. I'm not. I'm not
no.
trying to sit there
I
and
have a career,
say
baby.
that.
I'm gonna say this like this. I got a career. I mentor. I
Said it.
mentor. I have a life where I do so much for my community. Your words could have damaged me. And I couldn't do what I do in the community no more. Because now people look at me as a pedophile if this would have got out. If people wasn't defending me like Tamara and Aaliyah and them, and the people that know me, and you just sit there all like, I'm sorry. Like, come on. You think I'm gonna take that?
And that's why I
You
was in the
shouldn't have
comments.
to, and you shouldn't have to. You shouldn't have to, Marcus. I'll apologize. Like regardless of like Tamara, I hear you, but I'm talking to Marcus. Marcus, I will genuinely apologize to you for that.
Now, let me
And I'll say
you can be cute on this camera, but don't forget who I am too. Don't
I'm
forget
not
who I
worried about
am.
who you
You
are, girl.
smart all day long.
I'm really not
You
worried about who
did
you are.
enough. You did enough. Like, you really did say enough. Hone in on that. All the extra stuff you said is not even true. You called this man a pedo. You did lives and called this man a pedo, said his name. Acknowledge that. Go back on live and say, you know what, y'all? I made an error in judgment. You ain't got to say I lied, which is what you did. You said I made an error in judgment and being a better person today than I was yesterday. I want to recant something I said. My experience, I felt away. I admit that a woman should feel safe. I agree with you on that. But if you want to tell it all. If you want to apologize, really do it. That's nasty work, man. That's nasty work. That's nasty work.
Tamara, I appreciate you. Kendra, again, I wish you the best. Mingo, I got to drop. I got work. I got to finish. But I appreciate everybody. Listen, at the end of the day, this was a growing. This is something I went through, and it taught me a lot. It taught me a lot. It made me stronger as a man. It made me understand that I got the power to forgive, but I understand what I will not accept in life. And if somebody can do that to me, truly do that to me, that just shows me that that's not somebody that needs to be in my life. And I want to wish that person the best. And I'll talk to y'all later. It's much love.
Hey,
I appreciate it.
much love, Marcus.
Marcus.
All right.
Mingo, I'm gonna go ahead and, to be honest, I'm gonna drop too, because in all honesty, I didn't had enough. Y'all, I know there's a lot of people who didn't like me on the show, didn't like the fact that I talked, didn't like how I move. But this is the whole thing. In all honesty, I speak for a living. If you would like to follow me, my brand is called Positivity Has a Purpose. I'm on my way to stadiums. I'm actually filming a movie on Saturday, 3 documentaries next week. Feel free to follow my journey to arenas. I'm going. Whether whoever wants me there, whoever don't, I implore you to inbox me. I'll make sure you get a free ticket. I would love to see you there. Whether you love me on the show, whether you didn't, I would love to see you in the audience. I would love to put some love on you too. Y'all, it's been a journey. Mingo, we'll talk soon. But I gotta go.
Definitely.
All right. Much love to you.
Talk to you soon. Much love. Thank you. All right. So, Professor, that was a lot. What do you have to say? You was quiet the whole time.
Hey, listen, man. I feel like I listen to the female Dr. Umar, but no, I mean, it is what you know. I've done a show on when someone on the panel said something that I didn't agree with, and what it looked like, and words can be detrimental to people, can be dangerous to people. Um, and those are some things that, especially when you calling somebody a PDF, that's a difficult thing to come back from. As a basketball coach of 22 years, like, I know how that can ruin a career. So I know what Marcus is when he said that, and I feel like everyone's ganging up on Kendra. I get what I feel bad for her, but I don't, because at the end of the day, you shouldn't have taken all of this for her to apologize fully. Kendra, we don't really know each other. I know we share some things in common. But like Marcus said, this show has been a learning lesson for all of us. So hopefully you take that as well, and you move with that. I know I've learned from this experience, and I'm not going to be someone to gang up on anybody. But I think she knows where she fell short. I know where I fell short. Tamara knows where she fell short. Marcus and everybody else on the show know where they fell short. And we just learn from this and move on. And we just know that our words carry weight, and we know to move differently moving forward.
Right. Now I'm with you with that. I'm definitely with you with that. And a lot of these things that.
Hold on. Hold on. I'm gonna come back.
Okay. So, I mean, Kendra, everybody left as far as Marcus and Tamara. But I do you understand at least how that affected him? And I know you do. You apologize. I don't think he took your apology well. I don't know if it was how your mannerisms were, because how he was describing how you moved when you apologized. But I know he might watch this back. Is there any last things that you would want to say? Because the season's over now. You guys don't really have a reason to be around each other anymore, and So is there any last things you would want to say, even in defense of yourself, right? Like something that you want the audience to know about you.
At the end of the day, I want to say this. If your intentions are pure and something outside of your agenda of what you planned on happens, as a man, I'm just because I've had multiple conversations with the people that I do interviews with about men's mental health. And I went into detail with a lot of those men about what had happened. And I told them everything in detail. I didn't shy away from this is what I did during that situation. This is what I did. This is what I didn't do. I didn't shy away. I went into detail. And I'm not taking away from what Marcus had said, saying that was not the intention of the night. That's not what I had planned. When I spoke to other people that were in frats and in fraternities and um, all of that, they're saying like that is not typically how they respond. That's not this particular fraternity, and that's not how they act. That's not their behavior. So it was a conflict for me going back and forth, which is why Marcus was still which is why I kept talking to him. Because I was like, okay, I have other people saying that this isn't typically how this particular fraternity responds. And then I had another side of men saying that was weird, period. So I was conflicted. And then talking to some of my girlfriends when I mentioned this before, who are in that are in what are they? I can't think of the word of like their deltas or their alpha or their
Oh, you talking about like AKA?
I think something went wrong with her signal.
Oh, gotcha. Oh, shoot, yeah.
Yeah. What
I,
was
I,
the
would- I,
last
would-
thing you were saying?
I wish you would come back because I would love to. I would love to say to her, like, if you feel like you couldn't tell the whole story, then why even bring the story up to begin with?
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, she's coming back.
right.
She's right
you know
here.
what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
sorry. I had gotten a call. I'm sorry. Um, so having those conversations with other people, because of the way that everything was kind of handled in that situation, for me, it was conflicting. So I'm going based off of my traumas and what I have been through. And take note, like I mentioned prior, like my mom has told me that I need to go to a trauma therapist simply because of how my life has kind of transpired over the years. And I'm gonna say this as and I mean this as humbly as as I can, as an attractive female living single with no kids and all of this, there's so many different people that will just lie to you just to be around you, just to experience you just once. And I, the reason why I said what I said on the bridge, what I said to Marcus was I didn't feel safe. And I didn't feel, now I wasn't say I didn't feel safe with him. I didn't feel safe in that environment. And it didn't allow me to move in that direction because, yes, did they ask me for certain consent? Did they ask me for this, that, and the third? Yes. But it was in a way of, it wasn't directly spoken to me. It was that this person asking him, how do they feel? And it rubbed me the wrong way because it was never directed to me, which I tried to explain multiple times. I even have a long paragraph message from the girl that was involved apologizing to me about the situation. And I can even read it off or pull it up or whatever so that you guys can have an understanding of it. But for me, with that being my first date with him, and men trying to always just trying to like, let me just have sex with her real quick. Let me just do this with her real quick. Where do you think my brain is going to go?
The
So,
question that I
But
would have for you is, did he try to have sex with you?
no, which is why I
So, so
rephrased
then
no, no,
I
no, no,
think
no. He never did. No, he never did. Marcus and I never had sex. So,
so if he didn't try to have sex with you, then I think that should clear up how you feel about him. Because if the mindset is that we were at this thing that turned sexual, right? And he didn't even try to have sex with me. Whatever happened between you and other people, or however it went down, he wasn't the catalyst of that, which I
Now,
think you should give him a little grace.
if you want to get into some detail about it, since we want to talk about it, did he ask me if he could be involved? He did. I'd said yes for half a second, and then I said stop. Which is when I said stop is when it clicked, and that's when we moved to a different room. That's when everything stopped. So when you go to the comment section, he says, "Oh, she agreed to this. She agreed to that." He asked me. I said yes, and then as soon as I realized, I had stopped it. Which is why I was having a hard time, because it's like you have one particular a woman asking if she can do certain things to me, and then you're piggybacking off of what she's already doing, and then you're saying, okay, let me step in, can I? And it's like, whoa. I said yes at first, not realizing. Then I stopped, and I was like, pause, because is this why you invited me? So like that's my thought process. I'm not saying that he's a bad person. I'm not saying that he is, and I take it back. Do I say as though he's a pedophile? No, I take it back. He's not a pedophile. He's not the definition of a pedophile. He's not. That was me talking out of pure rage, and I apologize. And that was unethical of me completely. And I'll apologize. And I'll apologize. I can even make it public and apologize to it. But at the end of the day, it is the fact that women were begging me, literally in my face, begging me, asking permission. Doesn't she look good? Doesn't she look like she does this? Doesn't this, that, and the third? And you're agreeing to it. And then when you ask me, can you join? And I say yes, and then I'm like, stop, because I'm realizing, like, did you plan this all along? That's my mentality. And that's that key detail that has been left out of this whole circumstance. That people don't that I haven't said anything publicly, because I haven't said anything publicly about it because I didn't feel comfortable about it enough. But it's like, okay, y'all want to try to destroy me online, not realizing that you put me in a situation, and there's women begging, literally begging me. And I'm not gonna go into detail about how it went. I can, but this is YouTube, and I don't want to disgrace your platform and go like I'm trying to be respectful.
But kid, oh shoot, she
I
dropped.
think her camera. She probably got a phone call again.
Yeah, yeah. But see, that story is dangerous because if she felt uncomfortable, she said no, and he agreed. They should have left. She should have never been put in that situation. I keep saying stuff like she's here, but she's not. She should have never put herself in that situation. If she felt uncomfortable, same thing I said about Tamara. If she felt uncomfortable, we could have stopped filming. We could have had a conversation. I could have apologized at that point. And the same thing here. If she felt uncomfortable, she could have.
Sorry, sorry, sorry.
But
And
Kendra, I was saying something. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yeah, and I was saying that if you felt uncomfortable in any way, why not just get up and leave? And that's the first. That's the first question. Give me one more. Give me one more. Give me second question. The second question would have
Mhm,
been for you. Would have been why think of it? Why go to a negative place
mhm.
first when it could have just been, oh crap, I didn't think this was going to happen, and it happened. As far as what took place, and giving him the grace, like, hey, that was. And I don't like I said, I don't know your. It's three sides to every story. I'm not there. I'm not putting any words in anybody's mouth. I'm
Right.
just saying that the second part would have been, hey, let's have a conversation about this. I don't like how this
Mhm.
happened. This took place. Uh, and if he did what he said, he did. Hey, I'm glad you got me out of there. I'm glad you at least asked for that safe, whatever it was, and y'all moved on instead of thinking negatively from or thinking or having your life experience carry over from how people will perceive you, or all guys want is this, or all people want is this from you because I look good. People want to do this and be around me and have this experience with me. Instead of having that thought about it, because that was like everybody is a predator, as opposed to everybody. People may have their good graces out for you, as opposed to thinking that from standpoint. The third part of this is be very careful about things you say, because in certain situations you slandered his name. That's something he could have taken you to court and sued you over. So at the end of the day, watch what you say when in fits of rage, which is why when I get mad at people, I don't say anything. I just hold back and I'll say something later because I know I can't take back what I say. But the first question is why not just my first question, like I said, I wasn't there. It's three sides. Why not just get up and leave?
I didn't get up and leave because I didn't feel comfortable to do so, with the amount of alcohol that I had drinking. Um, that's why I didn't leave. And part of it too, it was like I said before, I enjoyed my night. I had fun. Don't get me wrong. But my main thing is I'm not taking away that, oh, I had a good night. Yes, I had fun that night. Do not get me wrong. It was my whole thing is I was invited to a cookout. I have never been to a cookout where stuff like that happens. That was my whole thing. My whole thing is if if this was unplanned, if this was not a part of what you had planned for the night, and you didn't feel comfortable as a man, especially with this being our first date, why, like, as a lead and as a person that sees me as a potential partner, why would you want me to be in that environment? That was my thought process. And I get it. Like, yes, you had all Kendra, you had all the ability to leave. You had the ability to leave. Did I want to do what I did when I was there? Yes. As soon as a man was involved in the situation, I was done. Because there was other men in the room. It wasn't just Marcus. There was two other men in the room. That's where
So
the problem
all the
lies
so the
down.
so the
So
men
that's why
was
I'm like, this is not okay. Like, that's
so
not
basically the,
okay.
the men the men that was in the room were having sex with the women in the room. You didn't want to initiate in that, but so okay. But Mark, the thing that I always would give Marcus the grace on, and I believe you should, is that he didn't. Even if he asked you, I don't think it's outlandish being adults, if we're all in a sexual situation and you were in a hypersexual situation and I'm watching you in this situation to say, can I join? I think most men will ask that. And the moment you say no, now, if he said, you know what, I'm going to take it, he gets no grace. He gets nothing. As a matter of fact, he gets jail time. But
Correct.
that's not what happened. The man, you said no, and then you exited to the next room for what you said. So that's where I guess the confusion lied throughout the season of people wanting to kind of feel like, well, regardless of whatever happened, it happened. And if it wasn't going to be brought up, it just shouldn't have been brought up completely. Like it just should have been to bed. Whatever happened was just off camera. No one brought it up. But the fact that it was brought up, of course, now for the audience, for y'all, for you and Marcus, now it's like this unresolved thing that's going over, spilling over to your audience on your live streams. It's spilling over to the show. It's just turned into a lot now because something that was brought up that didn't really have to be, because he didn't hurt you. And that's what everyone was wondering, like, did this man harm her? Did he, like, what did he do? Because we don't know. You know what I'm saying? I knew what happened because you told me from like day one. But him and all of this stuff that, like, the audience and the cast members, the crew, everyone was kind of like, well, what is going on between these two people? And he come to find out, like, he didn't do anything. And then that live stream when you call him a pedo, that that kind of got big in this circle because it was screen recorded and passed on. But you apologized, right?
I did
And like,
apologize.
you
And do
apologized.
I feel bad? Yes, I do feel bad. I didn't even, and I didn't, it was not a live stream. It was on my Instagram story when I said that. So it
Right.
wasn't a live stream. It was on Instagram story. And I deleted it within, I think, about 8 hours. I deleted it because I had posted it late at night and then it didn't even make it to the morning. So um do I feel bad about saying that? Yes, absolutely, I do feel bad. Do I feel as though that was appropriate? No, I don't feel as though that it was appropriate. But when I hear from you, Mingo, that somebody's talking shit and I'm no longer going to work with you and this is that and the third. That's what pissed me off and that's what set me to the limit. That's what
Yeah, but
set me
I
off.
think you should just deal with me. You know what I'm
But
saying?
you
And
didn't want to
so,
talk to me anymore. So that's why I started losing my that's why I lost it. That's why I that is the fact of why I lost it.
Can I say something, Kendra? And Mingo,
Yeah.
stop me if you want to. Listen, Mingo and I have been doing this for two years, right? Right, Mingo?
yeah, exactly.
Mingo and I, brothers the whole nine, right? Me and Mingo fell out throughout this production, right? To where him and I didn't talk. Him and I talked 3-4 times a week. And it went from him and I talking 3 or 4 times a week to us not talking at all. Which is why, even at the reunion, I was sort of apprehensive because I didn't know. But him and I had a conversation. So what I'm saying to you is this: no matter what may have been brought to him and what was said and what you guys may have talked about what you may be doing in the future, there's no rhyme or reason for you to be that upset to go out and say anything. You've yet to this point heard me say anything. First of all, you didn't even probably know that story, but you also never heard me say anything negatively about Mingo while at any shoots, not knowing what him and I were going through, and that's my boy, right? So at the end of the day, that shouldn't have even crossed your mind when you're pissed off because of what your future could be. What's meant for you is meant for you. If it's not meant for you, it's not meant for you. And again, had it been a different person, not only we got a cease and desist, you may have gotten a lawsuit. You can't let that anger get to you, especially when especially when it's going to affect your future and especially someone else's future,
Mm.
right?
And you're
So,
right. You're completely right.
so this is like I said, I don't think you may have dropped off. This is a learning lesson for every single one of us that was on the show. We all learned from this. We're all got to be bigger because of this. But
Hmm.
it's the reason I don't speak out of anger and arguments because when I do, I can't take back what I said. I have to keep it to myself. And I said this before. I said I feel like everyone's ganging up on me. I'm not trying to gang up, but I'm saying we all have to learn from this, right? And
Right.
you can't let that happen. You can't let that happen again, especially for someone who talks about what you talk about when they talk about men's mental health. Because when you say one thing and into another thing, like you put men in a dangerous space. Like you're labeled as dangerous now because I don't know what you're gonna say about me that can ruin my life. That's scary. Like that's a scary, especially as a black woman and a black man. We're supposed to be coming together, not be repelling each other, and that's scary for a woman to say that. And like I said before, I did a whole video about a woman that said something less than what you said, and because I was pissed off about it.
Mhm.
So it has to be a learning lesson for every single one of us. And just because you think something's going to happen with your future, you can't let that. You can't react out of that. Like I said, you didn't know the story about me going on to just now.
I fell out with a lot of people on this show, and I think that's
I
just
think
part
it's
of
you,
business.
Mingo.
It's not me. It's never me.
That's what you better.
But it's part of business, though. And like we're gonna especially the amount of time we all spend around each other. Like you got to think, like we filmed this. It took us 6 to 8 months roughly to film this whole season. So I fell out with people. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't necessarily make it the end all be all. The biggest thing for me is always protecting the business. That's it. Like we could go through stuff, but at the end of the day, I just have to protect the brand because I put my livelihood to build this thing. And just for like one or two people to be like, you know what, I'm gonna just cut the legs off of it because I'm mad or because I feel away or because of something. Yeah, now I got to get a little bit protective and I separate myself when I have to. And that's just business. You know what I'm saying? It's never personal for me. But, that's why I mentioned it today. Like, hey, this is going to be the last live stream for this season, right? And I'm already in production for the next season. So the mindset is how do we, just kind of close this out? And I wanted you to come on, Kendra, to have the opportunity to speak and close it out without just saying, I'm gonna let people say whatever they want to say about Kendra, and it is what it is. And you want to build a platform for yourself. So this was, to me, giving you that opportunity to just be here. And like I said, I have no personal hard feelings towards you. So anything that happened there, it's not personal. It's just me protecting the brand, protecting the business. That's all. But when it came down to this thing with Marcus, was it alarming to me? It was alarming. You know what I'm saying? But I do know that I have to have a level of separation from that as a producer of a show. I can't be the one saying, Kendra, why, Kendra, why, Kendra, why, or even Marcus, why, Marcus, why, Marcus, why. Like, I can't do that. I'm the producer. So I just got to let y'all do what y'all do. You know what I'm saying? So
I understand.
that's all it was. That's all it was.
I understand, but it was just for me, and I completely agree with Professor, um, not allowing that to affect me. And I'm not gonna lie, I was out and about when I made that video, which is why I said that my friend told me not to post it. He said, "Don't post that," and I did it anyway, and which is why I also deleted it. I didn't get that many views on it, so that's another reason why I had deleted it because it didn't reach typically to what my normal stories get. So I was like, okay, let me delete this before it gets to that reach. That's why I deleted it, and I started going to a rampage because I blocked Marcus off of social media. I didn't block his phone number. So when I reached out to him first, and when my phone number was blocked, I was like, oh, okay. And that's what set me off. And I apologize. I allowed my anger to get the best of me. And it doesn't make me a good person for doing that. And I apologize. Absolutely. Have I spoken to different people about the circumstances and went into detail? Absolutely, I did. And some of them had mentioned the similar things that you guys had said. Why didn't you just leave? Um, like I said before, I was having fun. I'm not going to take that away. So let me be very clear. I was having fun, but my whole thought process after everything had happened was this planned? Did you plan this? And then the text message that I got from the woman that was involved in the circumstances, they had things planned. So it made me think like all of this was planned and stop. All of this was planned and I was just the guinea pig, the dummy. And I felt used and I felt frustrated because that has been certain outcomes of dating experiences that I have had. And that's not me necessarily saying that, oh, he's to blame, because I'm to blame also as well, of not having the discernment. But at the same time, it's like, if this is the first interaction and you're telling me that you're serious and that you want this for you, you want these things, you want these things, you want this lifestyle, and that's the first interaction that I had with you, it contradicts. Because why are there other people here in this type of hyper situation? So like that, it affected me in that manner. Did it hurt my feelings? Yes and no. Because it was like I felt as though that you were playing with me, like you weren't really being serious. You just wanted to have an experience. And when I said no, it stopped immediately. The other people kept doing what they were doing. And if I go into more detail about certain things that I've experienced, it's not going to, it doesn't, whatever, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at the end of the day. Um, but I got home safe. Nothing, no one forced themselves onto me, which is why I was trying to reword what I said because it didn't come out the way that I had planned it to. Um, did I go into a pissed off rage after the fact that Mingo, like I used to talk, Mingo, you and I talked like at least like 4 or 5 times a week. We would talk. And when it slowly stopped and then you stopped tagging me and stuff, I'm just like, what is going on? Like, what is the disconnect? Like, what is really happening? And I was trying to understand the concept and like the background of everything. I'm like, what is going on? This is not the energy that I was receiving before. So what changed? So with me trying to figure out what changed, and then now I'm saying, "Oh, people, I've heard you talking crap." What crap did I say, and to who? What did I say? I didn't say that. So it blows my mind, which is where I step in, and I'm like, okay, like, yes, we know each other, but we don't. Like, y'all don't know anything deep about me and the traumas and things that I have gone through. And same thing with Marcus, same thing with Professor, same thing with Tamara, same thing with Aaliyah and Zaynathan, same thing with Sandy. We don't know what has gone through anybody else's life prior to this show. So for anybody to be like, okay, well, you're this type of person, you're this person, you're this, like it doesn't allow the truth for someone's actual livelihood to come into place. You don't know what somebody's experienced. You don't know their traumas. You don't know anything. You just see a production. You just see a show. You don't actually see the person's life. You don't see what they've gone through. You don't see their emotional standpoint, their bandwidth. You don't see what they've you don't have an understanding. You just see the performance.
I
And
definitely
and 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 that's just how I see it. So with that whole situation with Marcus in the beginning, that was my first impression of him. As a talking to other women, if you go to a cookout and something else like that starts happening, what are you going to think from that man? What else do you have to go from? Especially when in this particular dating scene where sex is on the forefront of
and
everyone's mind.
I don't want to keep beating on a dead horse, but when you start looking at this, like, you know, the fact that you are saying things like "I had fun," and then you thought about it later, and then you started thinking it was a setup, that could cause a lot of confusion, right? And I just need you to put that in perspective, just in case anything like this ever happens again in the future. Which I pray to God that this, if anything terrifies you in your future, that you get yourself out of it. But just to think like, okay, well, at the moment you were having a good time and then you didn't, and then you thought about it, then you said no. I would look at the man that is around you as, okay, let him know I want to go. Let me let him know, get me, like, he it's not men's thing to read minds and say, I know what you want to do unless you tell us. And then if you tell us and we refuse, that's when you have to start looking at that man funny, right? Like, yo, hold up. I let you know I want to get up out of here, and you're not doing anything to get me up out of here. You a problem. And then, yeah, especially if he is unwanted touching, unwanted, all of that stuff. And I don't have to tell you all this because you know all of this, right? Like, these are things that you know prior to me telling you this. But
Absolutely.
just, I would say, because this way we're not constantly beating up on this topic, and we could kind of just lay this to rest, lay this season to rest, and just move forward. I could say my filming experience with you, I had a great time, right? I had a great time with all of y'all, even Sandy, everybody. You know what I'm saying? Because we had our moments, which to me made a really good season. And you know, I respect y'all for it, and it's all part of my growth process as well, because I learned a lot filming this season. I learned, honestly, how to move with contestants. I learned how to go about things differently, and now I completely separated myself from contestants, so no one has my phone number anymore. That's done. But I learned as a producer where I need to be and how I need to move. And I pray that you learn something from this. Professor, I pray that you learn something. Tamara, Marcus, Aaliyah, Nathan, Antoine, and Sandy, I pray that everybody really, truly learned something out of this experience, because at the end of the day, the day gonna end, right? So,
Right.
it's one of those experiences that we learn, we move on from. You can still use this opportunity, Kendra. If I were you have a whole season of content that you can show the producers, that you could show the people, to still get yourself where you need to go, and you can still use this to your advantage, right? And then speak on the things where you really made a mistake on and learn from it, and just that's it. And same thing for Professor, you too. Same thing for me. Same thing for my wife. All of us. Like, I take this as an experience that we all grew from. It was one full year from production start to reunion taping to reunion airing. One
Mhm.
whole year for us to actually get here. So it's a lot of work, and I'm happy I met y'all. I'm
Yeah.
happy I was able to do this with y'all. What
Yeah.
you were saying, Professor?
No, I was just gonna say, man, we be wrapping up, right?
Yeah, we wrapping up.
Okay, so let me put a few things to bed real quick since this the last time you'll see me on this possibly. Uh, I'm gonna go anyway. So some people may have said I'm not a character in that book, but the people got to remember I brought the book. I am the book. Anyway, you wouldn't be here if it wasn't for me. So that's first piece.
Uh,
Second piece, I'm gonna give
Tamara
you a
about
little.
to call back up right now, yo.
That's fine. Come on. Come on. Anyway, you need to understand, overstand, and understand. Uh, the other part is, um, I know people have questions about Ann. I will provide you with some information, not full information, but enough to put you guys to bed. Um, when it comes to Ann, Ann had we was hanging out. She had a gentleman she worked with that had been with her during a time when she had a fiance that had passed away. He was there when she needed somebody, and he helped her through that depression piece. And they sort of connected, and so her and our relationship ended, and she's now happily married, and she's a brand new mother. So that's Ann's side of the story. There was no animosity. There's no bad blood. There was nothing I did that screwed that up. It's just, we all learned from that experience. And, you know, I enjoyed the opportunity to be with Ann because certain things you learn from people help you learn more about yourself and vice versa, right? So, and I always say and I always preach unexamined life is a life not worth living. So you consistently examining your life, seeing where you have shortcomings and things of that sort. But again, she was put in spaces that she would have never been put in. Whether you guys like it or not, her and I had dinner with the president last year. So she was put in big spaces last year that could help do things for her career. There's certain things that she wanted out of life, like homesteads and things that wasn't in my cup of tea. I'm a city boy; she's a country girl, and I'm happy for her, like I said before, and she's moved on. Like I said, she's happily married with child now. So that's that story. So there's no other pieces of that. There's no craziness that came with that. That's just the story that happened. But other than that, man, again, I enjoyed the time. I enjoyed the opportunity to do this. I enjoyed the experience. A1 production as always, and I look forward to many things to come, man. But I wanted to
Thank
put a couple things to bed because I know people keep asking that question in the comments. And hey, we wish she could be there. She's married. She ain't coming down to film nothing.
you, and a mother.
She's married and a mother. She just had the kid not too long ago. But yeah, she's happy and she's happily married and a mother. And she married a good old country boy in his 40s. So there you go.
Right. Nah, that's real. That's real. Well, listen, this was dope. Great conversation. Kendra, you wanted to have any closeouts that we closing out for the season now?
Mm, not necessarily. Um, I'll just say this to close out. Um, Certain experiences that women have, I'm not going to sit there and I'm not going to take away from, I'm not going to ask for forgiveness. I'm not going to beg for forgiveness. Either you forgive me or you don't. At the end of the day, the only person that is that I'm looking for in regards to some type of forgiveness is Marcus. I don't care about what anybody else on social media has to say. You can think I'm a bad person, you can think that I'm an unsafe place, or whatever you may think to a certain degree. At the end of the day, you don't know me on a personal level. Do I have people that talk to me about men's mental health all the time? Absolutely. Do I have grace in regards to how people do certain things? Absolutely. Do I give grace? Yes, absolutely. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to belittle what I have gone through in regards to saving a man. Now some things that I have said unwarranted, absolutely. I'll take accountability for that. That's one thing I will always say. I'll take accountability for some of the things that I have done, and I will always take accountability for the things that I've done. And I have a track record for taking accountability for those things. So I will always hold myself accountable and admit when I'm wrong. When I'm wrong, I'll admit when something doesn't feel right. I'll admit it. Um, and I will always apologize when I am wrong. That is just one character trait that I have adapted over the time. Am I going to stop doing men's mental health? No, I'm not. I'm going to keep doing it. I actually have something planned for this weekend. We're going to go out, we're going to get on the track and run around, and then we're going to do men's mental health and we're going to talk and have the conversation. But it just, for me, I just want people to just be truthful within how you feel and don't hold back regardless of how something may make you feel, how you make somebody else feel. If that's your truth, then that's your truth at the end of the day. Can you be wrong in your truth? Absolutely. You can be wrong in your truth. You can be wrong in your perspective. But at the end of the day, always take accountability for things that you may say or things that you have done, and how it could have possibly impacted somebody. So I will apologize to Marcus, which is why I had mentioned earlier, if you want to have a conversation, then we can have a conversation. And he said no. So he's not open to it, and that's fine. It's respected. I respect his opinion. I respect his viewpoint on it. I wouldn't want to talk to me either after somebody said those things to me. But at the same time, he didn't help me pay my rent. Like he didn't do those things. I even went through my phone to screenshot certain things to make sure that that wasn't the case. Um, so there is different things that I will say, but that's all I really have to say in regards to that. I just want people to have their own opinions about somebody and actually get to know people, versus trying to just jump on a bandwagon of like hate, hate, hate. And that's fine. You can live in a realm of positivity and somebody who, and I said this before, and I'll make this short. I know I've talking a lot. I'll make this short. As a person who has gone through a lot mentally, suffered from certain ideations, I am not going to take away from Marcus's experience. What I said was wrong. I shouldn't have said those things. And it did come out of pit rage. It came out of feeling ignored. It came out of pit of I felt what I experienced was ignored and everybody was ganging up on me. And it was like, okay, well, like damn, ignore what I have to say and my experience and just focus on one particular person. That's fine. It's like, okay, like no, like I just felt as though like it was like 100% just focusing on him because of what I had said, but no one showed any type of attention to what I experienced until I started talking mad crap. So that is the thing that I want to point out. No one consulted me or anything along those lines until I started talking mad crap.
Well, I mean, I don't think a lot of people knew what was going on because you got to
I
keep in
didn't
mind, like,
say anything.
right, exactly. So there's nothing to console, right? So if people don't know what you're going through because you're not saying it, then they can't console you. And then now you put it out there via your social media, whatever, right? However it went. Now people are like, okay, well, what happened? And the only reason why they know, or we even are at this point right now, is because you brought it up. So people want to talk about it, and they're gonna pick. Obviously, they're gonna listen to what you say, listen to what he say, and then if it doesn't make sense, they're gonna pick sides. That's how it goes, and I think it goes like that with friends groups, family situations, no matter what it is. When things, when you listen to two sides, you pick a side, and then you go with whoever you feel is right, whoever you feel has legs to stand on. So really, that's what happened. So it's not, I don't think anyone intentionally didn't have your back. I think more people just didn't know what was happening. You and I spoke about what this whole situation was very early on. Marcus and I spoke about the situation, but I still made sure that I was in contact with you. Like you said, we spoke 4 times a week. Like we was on it. You know what I'm saying? So it had a lot more to do with that than anything. But now that the cat's out the bag, I'm happy you guys were able to at least speak tonight. I don't think you guys need a further conversation about anything. I think, at this point, we could just finally lay this thing to bed and we could just move on and utilize this platform or your platform or however, utilize this show as a means to get to where else we are going to go because it's an opportunity. And I think once we look at it like that, all of us are good. You know what I'm saying? Like all of us. And like I said, regardless of how you feel like the audience feels about you, there's still people that rock with you. You know what I'm saying? And that's the most important thing for you. You have your audience, right? You have over 50 something thousand people on your Instagram. They rock with you, right? So that's your audience. Build off of it. And I wish you the best though. And I really do. And we just keep moving from here.
Yeah, and I appreciate the opportunity, Mingo. I really do. Being part of this production and moving in that direction. Like it was definitely eye-opening. It was definitely um an experience that I am glad to be involved in. Um, the filming, meeting the people, meeting everybody. It was fun. It also opened my eyes to like, yo, you really need to go to trauma therapy. Like, I really need to go to trauma therapy. Regular therapy, okay, yeah, I do that. But trauma is really the trauma that I've endured over my life. So I appreciate everybody that was saying kind things. I appreciate the people that were saying the negative things too. I think the negative is more eye-opening, but either way, I appreciate everyone. Do I care to a certain degree? Not really. I could care less because you don't know me. You just see what you see online, just like you watch Love Island. This goes the same concept. Like you have opinions about these people, you don't even know them. So at the end of the day, just take care of yourself and love on you and um, understand what you have going on can impact other people in a positive or negative way.
Right.
That's it.
That's real. Well, thank you so much. And thank you everybody that joined. Thank you so much, chat. I do see the chat. Y'all going crazy in the chat. It's hard for me to I don't have my glasses on tonight, so I could barely read what y'all writing. And I refuse to leave my seat to go upstairs to get my glasses. So we here with it. But I appreciate everybody in the chat that's active, that's writing. Thank you so much for being a part of the show. Audience, this show wouldn't be nothing without y'all. You guys keep the show going. You guys are in the comment sections heavy, sharing the content. I see those things on the YouTube analytics. And, all we could do is just pray. We got the next season. Like I said, we're in production now. I'm going to be on the news this week coming up. We were on 33 different articles across the country for Meet2Marry because of this season. And it's only up from here. So many different opportunities has opened up because of this specific season. And I want to thank every one of y'all, all of us. It takes the cast, the crew, the audience to make this show be what it is. So I appreciate y'all. I want to tell y'all good night. And I will see y'all on the next one. Much love. Peace.